Now this is I Love Uvi versus July Zerg. As you know, both players are really well known. July Zerg, definitely one of the players who we all feel for, but at times has just stumbled and fallen from inconsistency. So therefore, going into this, I would probably say that I Love Uvi is the man I'm going to back, just because I have seen I Love Uvi bottle quite a few times. Now, the map is Mercury, TVC. That trend there is just getting confused as hell, like spinning around. Probably getting nearly as confused as a Savior Ultralisk, if you remember from that other classic match of the OSL Finals of 2006, I believe, where Savior lost one of the key main battles because 4 of his Ultralisks just sort of linked together and just all got confused with each other, and so he couldn't resupply his forces. That was a great game, went for about 45 minutes, went down to the elimination in the end. One of my favourite matches of all time. See how many SCVs will go down. Scan goes off, and quite wisely the lurkers retreat away, leaving one behind almost as a sacrificial lamb to make sure that the other lurkers can get by, and unfortunately this failed. No real significant number of kills with those lurkers, and due to the angle they were coming in, I Love Uvi probably does suspect that there is some form of another base. I'm sure he doesn't specifically expect a proxy hatchery, but he will at least be wise to July Zerg having forces toward that side of the map. It will be able to expand. We are still only on a 2 base versus 1 base in terms of bases that are actually mining. Zerglings moving in once again, but just so many going down, not able to stand up to this bunker supported by the siege tanks there and this medic marine force that is just being perpetually reinforced by those barracks there. Not as many barracks as I would like to see at the moment, but there is that third racks going up once again. Those 2 lurkers are just sat there, half acting as scouts and half just laying down that constant pressure. So I do believe that I Love Uvi is just waiting to get his tech up, waiting to get his... Really nice, he has just focused so much on units rather than building any tech buildings. And now once again, the lurkers and lings move in, but it's just not able to break it. There's just not enough of a conversation to come in. And now July, so sparse-based, comes in, and it's GG. He knows he's got nothing in the area to defend that. I'm just really tense going into this match. I mean, I think, especially when you watch older matches, you see that players... one SCV there getting caught by the Zerglings. Players do really tend to give each other a lot more breathing space. So yes, they are just morphing a little bit before. You know, you don't really see... You do see early harassment and you do see early pressure, but there is just a lot more room given by the other players. It's just how it tends to go. As I mentioned before, one of my favourite classic matches was that Nalvar versus Savior from 2006, and in that they just give each other such immense breathing room for so much of it. I guess it's the logic that they are not wanting to risk losing forces as early for what they might perceive as so little a disadvantage. Getting in there with the lurkers, sending them down, far back goes down, and as I'm sure you saw, we have a third base going up for July Zerg there. They're just so hard to take down. Now finally we see the science facility and 2 starports, both with control towers, so we will see a good amount of science vessels in the air. Now we do see that first Dark Swarm. There's only a couple of siege tanks though to defend against it, swarming both bridges and that bunker. That's absolutely wonderful. Loads of what I can only presume are cracklings pouring in, even more Dark Swarms going off. Lurkers now getting right up in the faces, and it looks like this expansion may go down, and yet another Dark Swarm. These are beautiful swarms. I know the word beautiful. Siege tank goes down. There is still 1 science vessel there, but it's just not enough. Dark Swarm goes off over the units, and there is the GG. That was a romping. That was a romping internet. I don't believe I just did 2 matches in a row, and I've just finally used the word romp. It is my favourite word, internet, and that was the very definition of the romp. Win.
Question 3. Which player holds the nickname The Legend Killer?
J-Dog.
Question 9. Going by ELO score and recent performances, who is currently the best player on CJ Entus?
Oh god, ooh, that's probably a trick question, so I'm going to go for effort.
Okay, question 2. In a standard late game Terran versus Zerg, your science vessel has the option to irradiate an Ultralisk, Defiler, or Lurker, which are part of a force that is about to attack. So an Ultralisk, Defiler, or Lurker. In most cases, which one would you irradiate first?
Ooh, that's tricky, because on one hand, obviously, the Defiler is a spellcaster, but on the other, the lurker's burrowed, so they might not notice that it has been irradiated. And then as things are moving over it, it might also get irradiated in the splash. So yeah, I'd go for lurker.